Apologize. I catastrophically screwed up some button pushes. And I have to fix that. Alright, so what I'm doing here, I'm trying to graphically excuse me. Yes. And move forward. really working on basically the spawning of the monsters. $19 critical damage, nice. Okay. If they detect something, I should do a detect. Not one, just any sort of movement. Right, there we go. So that stays there. Ran into a wall. Feels danger approaching. Look. Nope. Nope. Yep. What if we did this? Alrighty, let's see here. Detect. Well, I could have a list of things that are generated versus having a bit field. Per question. Spawns basically means, yep, that's the room that was spawned. Detected spawn was, if it was detected. Let's use two different things for now. All right. Too many oohs in the room. Okay, that removes those. Now let's go back to detect. Okay, what we want to do here, let's make this not that. Not exactly, but we'll try this for now. Right, I mean, I really don't like this hard. No, I mean, you don't know what the number's supposed to be. 1 or a 4. Detect does that. I should go ahead and put it back in the range. Of course. Of course. You can't put crap like this in here. Yeah. Serialized maze party, and I made something public that I don't want really serialized actually. Thanks, Unran Dev. Thanks for giving me a raid. Appreciate that. Awesome. Excellent. Well, thank you so much for stopping by. Getting all kinds of achievements today here. Thank you. I'm Chief Bolty Hat, and basically my almost silent stream. I'm basically working on my dungeon crawler game. Well, thank you so much for the follow. Certainly appreciate it. Thank you. Of my guild music going off here. Awesomeness. Well, thank you. Give you a shout out here. How was your stream? What was you working on? Nice. Yes. So yeah, basically I've been converting my game over to mono game. It was a web-based application, and I can't sell that on Steam so well. So, so yeah, this is the graphics, the 2D graphic game. So it's pretty simplistic when it comes to that type of thing. This is a dungeon crawler RPG game that I'm working on. Awesome. No game dev progress, but just going into a check-in mode once in a while. You gotta do that. Absolutely. So yeah, this basically is the dungeon crawler. And with that, it's kind of similar to a, I don't know if back in the old days, the wizardry games. That's what it's kind of based off of. But it's essentially you create a party of 6, go into the dungeon, and you beat on monsters until you win. It's kind of the thing. And let's see if I can get the game music going a little bit better than this. One-man show here. There we go. So yeah, basically this is the start of the game. Controller based at the moment. And yeah, you have your help section. Kind of gives you kind of a storyline of what's, why are you here? Dungeon of Treptera is basically a adventure town on top of a dungeon. And it hires on, you run a guild. And you get a little bit of a description of your type of kind of characters you could choose in the game. And then your guild hall where you could recruit your characters. And you could pick, like, say, a fighter. If you go to the next recruit, you're basically just kind of changing, you're changing, like, different kinds of, female. And then it doesn't really matter in the game, though. You train, you just re-roll the stats. The more you re-roll, the more of less of a luck you have with your character, but you should have better stats because you're trying to work that out. So yeah, you can go through, change your stats. You can enter the name. You can put something like there we go. Controller. Name is Test, of course. And then you can complete the recruitment, for example. And then they go into the guild. And then if you want to see what's in the guild, you have, it's full. Then over at the party members, this is my currently, you have your party member adjustments. I could change their position. I could go in an advanced role when it's ready. I could remove them. I could dismiss them. Yeah, so you got your character adjustments. And then you essentially go to the boar snout for your recovery. So you can sleep, get food and drink. Still working out all the food and drink right now. One of the things about the food and drink is what you eat in what order will affect what kind of special boons and stuff you can get. Yep. Some Omega wine, of course, and there's some frothy ale and stuff like that. Jobs and quests be going here, and then of course in the rest and recovery, you could just rest. Cost gold to rest and get those kinks worked out from the battles. The Bard's weapons go in. Basically buy your weapons. Go in your armor. Go through your armor. And your gnarled root. We can go buy your different types of consumables in the game. And then the Celestial Curios, which I need to still implement, is where to get your fallen comrades back to life. Or not, depending on how badly they got mangled. Yeah, and essentially then, right now I'm working on the dungeon. It's a 3D maze. I'm working on some auto mapping capability. And then it does some checks to see if it's going to detect monsters and paint them on the map. And I'm in the middle of basically working on that. Yeah, here's your battle system. Essentially, you ready your commands. You go through your levels. You go through your characters. And you basically set up the strategies. Clark, I think, will have to go back into spell. Maybe do some hold. Fight. And the mages can cast spells, for example. Do a sleep. And then I'll have old man just, parry. And then you start your battle. And here's where you go through the battle. And it's going to go initiative order. And basically set up, just gives you a description of how it went. And you could then continue on. You could try to flee for your lives. Because, yellow slimes are very, very, very scary. But they failed to flee at that time. So I guess we'll go ahead and go back to and have everybody fight. Yeah. Looks like yellow slime has finally received mortal wounds. You get to go. Now you get your experience in gold. And treasure as I work that in. So yeah, basically this is just a dungeon RPG. There we go. We got some detections going on. So now it's basically somebody says there's going to be a monster in front of me. So if I move into that spot, and yeah, I'm toast basically. So let's just move in. There we go. Slobbering works. Right now, so each character will have like an ability, except for your spellcasters. They cast spells. Everyone can use items, particularly items specific for this type of characters. I think I'll just do a firebolt. See if that works. Both of them do a fire. Nope, I don't want them fighting. Firebolt. Probably should slow down here a little bit, but yeah. So basically, let's say go back to commands. Go to a spell. It's going to give you a list of your spells, 1 through 7, and then you just select the level of the spell you want by hitting your A button. Then it's either Firebolt or Sleep. Firebolt will affect a hostile within the group, and Sleep, and it does the entire party. So a hostile means that one of the two orcs are going to get hit with Firebolt. Sleep is going to affect the entire party. The website currently is not working. I need to get that pop back in. Actually, I need to change that link. I apologize. Because the website development has ground to a standstill for over a year because I've been converting it over to mono game. So yeah, so the idea with this would be, I'll probably go back and have a website version of this, so you could I probably will end up packaging that with the game, because in theory it should work very similar. I'll see how much I can make it a parody, but yeah, you could host that onto your own web server, and you can run your own games if you want to. Right, Violet got hurt horribly, so have Clark do a spell of lesser heal for Violet, and we'll just fight now. I skimmed through the text by accident too quickly, but there we go. Got that. I've been spending the majority of my time, though, in the admin screens. So with this, I'm going to be able to go in and create the mazes. So I'm adding this to the editor. It's part of a developer toolkit. But when you own the game, you'll also be able to, you could then modify and create your own mazes in the game. You can also set up, right now this is a, I can add a spawn bank. Let's say I want to add humanoids, and I want to increase their odds of being generated to 10. And then wherever I paint on this map, when you see that 1 show up, that means in humanoids, the group of humanoids will be chosen when the character goes into that room with a 1 in 10 chance of spawning a monster. So with this, I have 27% percentage breakdowns of what monster parties would be generated in a 1 in 10 chance. And then, actually, if I were to go to edit scenario, and we look at the scenario SE Maze V1, that comprises of these different encounter groups. Then each individual encounter group contains a recipe for what types of monsters will get spawned. And then the actual parties, you can go through. Right now I have a small selection of my monsters, and like say orcs. So now with the orcs, you can go through and you're basically setting up spawn tables. You're defining what level do you want these things to generate, depending on your, do you want some variety based off of the party level average. You could give them their stats, you could change out their weapons that they could choose from, and eventually spells and other equipment will be added to this editor. And what's not in this, but it was in the website, was there's spells and abilities. And you can rename stuff. I forgot about that. Let's go cancel. There we go. So you can create your own type of weapons and give them different types of stats and armor. You can give like an overall, like if you go to the mobile here, you can change out their brains. This is how they attack and what type of class they are, to give them different abilities. Well, how does the dev live or life? How does the dev life? How's the dev life? It's it can be tedious at times. After my full-time work of developing software, I come home and work on more game development software. So, yeah. Well, the dev is going pretty good. Right now I'm trying to work on rebuilding the some of the editor screens to help create the game content. You got to create the game in order to make the game, kind of a situation. But code-wise, yeah, I keep going back and forth here. Cheat lead detected. I have a little cheat button to go right back to the beginning here. Hit exit. Now, one of the things with the code, it's a C# code. I'm going to have, the types of things that's going to work. You got to build out your library because it's mono game. So you're going to create, everything you need to to do the drawings and such. And I have like a menu system I've had to create to coincide with that. And then of such. So you have basically the graphics engine section of the game, but the game itself is a standalone library essentially. The game is built around its own own game engine, the RPG engine, in which then you could attach that to like a a web front end, which I've done first, and now I'm going to add this to the mono game, and then so that way I let the mono game mainly handle the graphics of the game, and the decisions are then passed off to the game library. I'm kind of keeping everything separated out that way. And and then within the game library, I have different types of strategies. I'll have a, using abstract classes and whatnot. Essentially, I'm building out from a character. You have a character-based class. From there, it's either a monster or a player. From that, it goes to, are you a melee, skilled melee? Are you, spellcaster? It just kind of gets more and more defined, and then that way, when I want to go create a new character class, I just go down the tree, and insert the new class, and give the functionality, and have it build off of other base functionality. So that's kind of a nutshell of kind of how I'm organizing the game data and such. So. Go back to the meditation music. So yeah, basically right in the middle of developing the game, having even thought to any kind of publicity or any kind of marketing. Just want to get the game done first. I spend time from the coding aspect of it, and then sometimes I got to switch and turn and do all the artwork. And then I'm using Kevin McLeod's game music libraries for the music in the game and such. So it's been fun practicing my art, getting back into doing art, and then back into coding when it needs it. So here, so a lot of the game is programmatic. So, I mean, I don't necessarily have to use those admin screens and I'm building out. Now, they all ultimately go to JSON files. So you could edit the JSON files technically, and data-driven game, most of it is. So you could do it that way or build tool sets to manipulate those data files. Otherwise, I'm going in and using some attribution so I can do some reflection and pull in. Makes it easier for me to just go to initialization of, say, the weapons. It goes, say, find all the weapons and pull them in and create the reference files inside the game. And I'm kind of using a Fluent-like aspect, you know, to build them out, to give them definition. The magic system, basically it's an effect system. And with that, you know, you can give, like here we have a slime aspect, and it will do slime damage, corrosion damage, and it gives you like a saving throw of sorts, and how much maximal damage it does. It does damage over time, and at what level does it do damage over time, and the descriptors and such. And a lot of these are trying to be standardized so that I can then add more facets to the game, essentially. All right, as you're a nerd, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for stopping by. Everyone who did stop by, I really appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, you have a good evening, or a good sleep, as it were. Because I don't want to go that far, so. Bar. Right. Hey, that's all kind of cut off. Oops. All right, what are we doing here? Well, there we go. Immediately find some damage. Damage? It's not damage. It's found some, well, could be damage. Danger. Right. As long as I still detect it, it shouldn't disappear. Oh. Fight the growing mess. It just... Ooh. Zombies. Really gotta make some of these monsters more stronger. Did I make these? Yeah, we'll just detect this guy way out there. 1, 2, 3. Alrighty, certainly appreciate the raid. The people who come by and take a look at what I'm doing. Pretty much heads down, kind of silent raid, or silent dev session. Some of the times I stream, just I'm just sharing my dev session as I work through things, and hopefully try to explain things once in a while. Sometimes I get chatty. Today wasn't one of those days, but that's okay. Appreciate it. I think I'll continue to work on this tomorrow. As always, I've been trying to think of another day to stream. Just it kind of depends on how things are going throughout the day. Today OBS decided to have some updates I wasn't prepared for, and I had to reset some of my stuff, so that was fun. But we got going, and some scuff, of course. But well, I appreciate your time. Wherever you may be, whether it's in the morning, afternoon, or evening, I hope that you have a good one. Thank you for stopping by and just kind of looking over my shoulder here a little bit. Hopefully we'll get more and more interesting things developed in this game. Get past some of the administrative stuff. Start getting into the game design. That's really what I want to get into. Kind of did it a little bit today. I was kind of just exploring. I wanted to change how the monsters were being spawned, and went ahead and do that. Oh, here we go. We know the cat. Thank you for stopping by. I hope that you have a good stream startup. You have a good one. Thank you. Hopefully, maybe the RPG game I have might be interesting enough for you to get a crack at some point in time. We'll see. All right. Well, y'all have a good evening. I appreciate it. I'm gonna go off and relax a little bit. Watch some other channels potentially. Thank you so much. And y'all have a good evening.